Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Taurus for February 2016. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, and see what's new on my astrology blog and the blogs that I write on other topics. And also, if you're interested in learning astrology and even doing it professionally, check out my astrology apprenticeship program that will be registering in February, starting sometime in February. So what's going on this month? What's going on in February for Tauruses? What's going on in general that will affect you? Let's talk about all of that. February is a month I am calling a time for action. And although a superficial review of some of the aspects of the month might bring us to the conclusion that it's better to not do important things or make forward movement, a more in-depth study would show us that it actually is a good time to do that. But I'm going to give you all of the pieces of consideration so that you can understand the very full, complicated picture. So half of the month is covered still with Mercury getting back to full steam. Mercury Retrograde was January 5th through January 25th. And every day from January 25th through February 15th, Mercury is regathering steam. Very much like if you stop to make a U-turn and then you get back going in the direction you want to go, it takes a little time for you to go from 0 miles an hour to the 60 miles an hour that you were at before. That's what's going on. So Mercury is in movement in the direction it wants to go, but it's taking a little while for the full flow to come back. Usually, I advise waiting till closer to the end of that period, like closer till the last week of it or so, February 7th and on, to take action. But when you place February compared to the year, this is one of the best months for taking action compared to the rest of the transits that are going on. In the year of 2016, we have 4 Mercury retrograde transits. Some years we have 3, some years we have 4. So this year we have more of the time of going backwards and slowing down and communication breakdowns and things like that might seem to slow our momentum. We have a lot of that going on this year. It doesn't mean we won't be productive. It doesn't mean we won't accomplish things. It doesn't mean we can't do anything. You can also check out my Mercury retrograde video to understand that better. But it does mean you've got to take it into consideration. So we've got 4 of those transits this year. We also have Mars in retrograde, and this happens once every 2-ish years. So April 17th through June 29th, the planet Mars, which rules your oomph, it's your drive, your ambitions, your passion, your wherewithal to get things done, how you use your energy, your male life force energy that is within all of us. That is the energy of Mars. It's the energy of initiating and carrying through with, more initiating, but your energy that you use to do anything is ruled by Mars. So when Mars is going backwards or is in a shadow period where it's compromised in some way, most people are going to be a lot less motivated. If you are very motivated and very ambitious, then this will be cool because it'll be a break for you. And I will be doing a Mars video at some point, but probably not till March. But look for that then if you're listening at this around that time. But in any case, the basic summary is that Mars will rule machinery, so you don't want to buy machinery during that time. So that makes February one of the best times for a long time to buy anything that's machinery or a car or a phone or a computer or something like that, because you either will have just dealt with Mercury retrograde or you will have, you'll be dealing with Mars retrograde. So that's one of the things about February. Now, April 17th through June 29th is the official Mars retrograde. The time from February 18th until April 16th, so that 2 months between the end of February and the middle of April, is the shadow period for Mars retrograde. That is where you will start to see the slowing down. And with every day it marches closer to April 17th, you will feel it. But while we're in February, you've got the most diluted time of that influence. So again, I'm showing you the picture as to why, even though these factors are at play and they will affect things that you do in February, it's still making it a better time because you're going to have the best of Mercury at the same time as the best of Mars in February than you'll have for either of them for a long time. So you want to capitalize on that. The second reason why I say February is a great time for action is because there are 6 60-degree angles between different planets that occur February 3rd through the 13th. 3rd, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 13th have these beautiful 60-degree angles. 60-degree angles are very sweet. I'm likening them this month to baked pears. So baked pears are wonderful no matter what you do to them. They're just wonderful as they are. But the nature of 60-degree angles is that if you do something with the opportunity, you can make it sweeter. So in this case with the pears, we would drizzle honey on them or sprinkle something on them that's sweet to accentuate that sweetness, and that would make it so much better. And that is the nature of the 60-degree angles that you will have for at least half of February, where something sweet may come, but if you do something with it, it will be even better. So you'll have opportunities. And in a minute, I'll talk about what fields of experience for Tauruses those opportunities are likely to come. But I want to give you some other perspective to think about. Another reason why February is important is because you're in the prime time of getting eclipse news. The eclipses don't actually happen until March, and I will be going over the eclipse potentials at length for Taurus and in general in the March report. But we need to know before then that they are happening. March 8th is the solar eclipse at 18 degrees of Pisces. March 23rd is the lunar eclipse at 3 degrees of Libra. The solar eclipses bring in new, big, open windows of freshness, possibility. The lunar eclipses close off, end, complete something. Sometimes that is a difficult thing that ends. Sometimes it's a fun thing that ends. Maybe you've been working on a project and it will reach its completion and your life will be different after that ends because you've been putting so much into it. You know, the nature of these closings or endings are not going to be the same for everyone, and they have a wide range of potential. But in any case, sometimes the endings are difficult or challenging, and often the openings are challenging also because humans resist change. Even if it's good change, it's still uncomfortable. So 6 weeks before the eclipses happen, which that energy gets strong starting about the end of January, we are ripe, and all of February is in this time, ripe for potential news from the eclipses. Eclipse news is often life-changing. It will set you on a different track, or it will very much accentuate a track that you're on and bring it up in a very big way. So I'm calling February this time for employing your own agenda, your personal agenda, but having the flexibility that if something comes and seems to be thwarting your efforts, that you might pay attention. It would be better to pay attention to where the universe is putting you. So if you take all these actions with your plan, and then the eclipses come with the divine plan, as they often represent, and put you on a different trajectory, then the less resistance you have to the change, the better. Okay, so since you're not going to get a month to push through things with as much support as you'll have this month for a while, it's good to do the things that you're trying to do, that you want to do, that you've been waiting to do. But if you're hesitant, if you're not sure, if it doesn't feel ready, then don't rush it, because part of your hesitance might be that things are changing and maybe the things you would have done will not be relevant at some point, so just be very much in tune with how things are feeling. If you can push something through and it feels good to do that, February is good to do that, but trust what you're feeling and trust what the universe is saying. Often we're going in a certain direction. We think that our plan is the divine plan, and then the divine plan comes in through eclipses or other transits that say, hey, actually, no, you're supposed to be doing this. And so our trouble comes from our resistance to what is happening or where it's going. So much human suffering comes from the resistance. So if you can release yourself of the resistance and just be open and flexible, then it's going to make any changes that come a little bit easier. Now, if it is possible that what you're doing and what your plan is and what you're taking action on is the divine plan for you, then you're going to have it boosted and expanded so much further. Every little bit that you do will carry further, because that is the energy of the time. So we've got Mercury shadow for part of the month, but don't let that stop you from trying to do things if you feel like you really need to do them. Also, don't rush them if you don't feel like they're ready. Because maybe they will evolve over the next months, and then do the things you need to do, but then be wise and be sensitive to what the universe is saying and try to be flexible. The opportunities that will come will be focused on certain fields of experience for Taurus. All Taurus placements will have possibilities in their work sector. the 10th house, the career, the work, the life purpose, the dealing with authority figures, the being seen by authority figures, the interactions with authority figures of every kind, from the law to your boss, to your parents, things going on with your parents, specifically usually dad or father figures, all have potential to be bringing the possibilities through this area of your chart. Also, all Taurus placements will have potential benefits that you can act upon and do something with in the 9th house. The 9th house is the house of Sagittarius, which rules teaching and learning and international business, conducting yourself or your work in a bigger way, speaking, writing, publishing, expressing yourself prolifically, religion, philosophy, long distance travel, long distance or different countries, different cultures, things like that. So your opportunities might come in through the 9th house. Early and middle degree placements, which let's break this down. So if you've listened to my reports before, you know that I make an effort, if there's a difference between a placement for an early, middle, or late degree as far as the horoscope goes, that I'm designating that out for you. That's actually more work for me, but I feel like I need to do it because the charts for early, middle, and late can often look different, especially comparing early to late degrees. So how do you figure out if you're an early, middle, or late degree? There are 30 days that the sun moves through each sign at a time. Each day corresponds with a degree. The sun moves a degree a year in the sky, or we move a degree in a year because obviously the sun isn't actually moving, but from our perspective it moves a degree a year. So the first 10 days of the sign, so around April 21st, or if it happened to be the 20th that you were born that year, whatever the beginning of Taurus is, for the first 10 days. So that's essentially all April born Tauruses will be early. Then the first 10 days of May will be middle degree. And then the last 10 days of the sign, around the 11th through the 21st or 20th, depending, on when it's transitioned that year, that will be the late degree placement. And the same if you're watching for your rising sign. So if you have Taurus rising, then 0 to 9 degrees will be early, 10 to 19 will be middle, and then 20 to 29 will be late. So now you know where you are on the spectrum. So all of you have these potentials in the 10th house, work, career, life purpose. All of you have the 9th house. Early and middle degree placements have strong energy in the 7th house. The 7th, and this is coming soon for you later degree placements, but for now you have it somewhere else, which I'll let you know about. So early and middle degree placements will have opportunities that come with these 60-degree angles in February in the house of partnerships, relationships, one-on-one connections, connections with clients, customer base, your customer base that includes your one-on-one relationships with each of them, romantic relationships, business relationships, partnerships of any kind, working together on projects with anyone. All of those things may have blessings or opportunities that come for you to put honey on. It's going to taste better that way. So the later degree placements have potentials in the 6th house. So the 6th house has to do with your health, medical processes of any kind, diagnostics, treatments, mainstream medicine, alternative medicine, diet, supplements, yoga, things that you do every day, your healthcare regimen are all in the 6th house. And then also pets, animals that you care for, and things that you do every day. Like if you go to work every day, then your workplace is the 6th house. If you are home and you're homeschooling or you work from home, then your home space would be your 6th house. Whatever your daily interactions are like, that's the 6th house. So your later degree placements will have opportunities there. Something else I also want to talk about is Jupiter. I love to talk about Jupiter. It's my ruling planet and it's called the Great Benefic. It brings expansion and growth and opportunities wherever it goes. It can bring challenges. There's a polarity to every sign, every placement. But it's one of the planets that tend to have more chance of positive things than the challenging things. So it's fine in that way. And so as of January 7th, if this is before January 7th, then you might not see this up there yet, but do check back again. I'm in the process of writing this very extensive Jupiter blog that will talk about the experiences for each of the houses and signs, so that as I tell you, early degree placements have Jupiter in the 6th house of this health and pets and, you know, daily routine, then you can go to anniehelpsyou.com and you can click on blog and you can put in Jupiter and you can read even more about what Jupiter accentuating the 6th house could mean for you, because it's very exciting and you'll really want to know. For those of you, some of you will also have Jupiter, those early degree placements will have Jupiter retrograding back into your 5th house, and the rest of you middle to late degree placements still have Jupiter in the 5th house. So you'll all really want to read the Jupiter in the 5th house on the blog. And the 5th house is true love and romance and fun and children and creativity. So expansion on those fronts is very, very possible for Taurus energy. If you're not trying to become pregnant, very good chance you may. If you are, you've got support here. More kids or creative energy being around you is very strongly indicated. Things like that. So check it out. So I can't see what's going on in your chart. If you'd like a personal reading, you can go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com. You can click on coaching. You can see more about my coaching package. Also, you can see more about my sliding scale 28-day virtual coaching program, which will show you the things that I've figured out to help people get through the common things that are blocking them from living in their highest expression in this lifetime. So the sliding scale helps keep it accessible for everyone. And so check that out. Check out the astrology blog and definitely sign up for my free email newsletter that makes you part of my email community. I send out the month before the upcoming month a written version of the things that I tell you in not usually the exact form, but often giving more specific dates that are good for different things and just other information I don't always have time to cover in the horoscopes. So check that out, and I hope that you have a wonderful February, and I'll see you next month. Bye.